How much does it cost to start Amazon FBA in 2024? In this video, we will be doing some math together so you can have a clear understanding on how much capital is required to run your private label Amazon FBA business successfully. I personally think it's absolutely crazy that some people tell you online that you need at least $10,000 to start this business. That is outrageous. In this video, I will show you guys the most budget-friendly way to start your Amazon FBA business so almost anyone can get started as soon as possible. My name is Tamara T. I have been selling private label products on Amazon for 6 years. I grew my business to multiple 7 figures every year, and I also coach people just like you how to do the same. If you guys find value in this video, then please subscribe to my channel and give this video a huge thumbs up. Now let's write down the list of expenses that is required to start your own Amazon FBA business. The first expense is quite obvious. We all need a Seller Central account. I suggest every Amazon seller to start their FBA business on the American marketplace, which costs $39.99 every month to have your own Seller Central account. Now you may be wondering, why do I want to start with the US marketplace and why not Canada or the UK or Australia? That is because you have the biggest chance to make the most amount of money on the US marketplace. It is the biggest Amazon marketplace, and no matter where you are from, you should start with the US marketplace. For example, I am from Canada, but I only sell products on the US marketplace because that is my biggest chance to make the most amount of money since the United States has so many people. If you are completely new to starting your Amazon FBA business, having a Seller Central account basically means that this is the place to operate your entire business. This is where you create your product listing. This is where you create your shipment plan. This is where you see how much you get paid from Amazon. In order for you to become an Amazon seller, you must have an Amazon Seller Central account. Next, you need to have a software to help you do product research, keyword research, and everything else in your Amazon FBA business. This is when we use Helium 10 software. Helium 10 software is a suite of tools that help you operate your entire Amazon FBA business. Without Helium 10, I don't know how anyone can do product research, track keywords, keyword research, or do much of anything, to be honest. So the monthly subscription fee to have Helium 10 software is anywhere between $29 to $79 every month. You guys can get 20% off Helium 10 by using my discount code that you see on the screen right here. This will help you save some money when you download Helium 10. Again, it is quite impossible to become successful in your Amazon FBA business without Helium 10. I use Helium 10 mainly to do product research, and if you want to learn my $10,000 per month product research strategy, then I recommend you to watch this YouTube video right here, where I show you step-by-step how to find winning products to sell that can make over $10,000 every single month. Next is purchasing inventory. Now that is obvious. You guys probably know that in order for you to have an FBA business, you need to purchase inventory so you can sell your products at a higher price on Amazon's marketplace. This is very important, so make sure you listen closely because this will determine how much you have to spend in your business. A lot of people get this wrong. This is when you hear people saying that you need $10,000 every month, which is completely not true. When I found my first winning product, it only cost me 93 cents to source from my supplier on Alibaba.com, and I know you can do the same. In fact, if you check out this YouTube video right here, I break down for you how I was able to make over $30,000 in just a few months sourcing a product from Alibaba.com that cost me around 93 cents per unit. If you are a beginner and this is your first or even second product, then I recommend you to source products from Alibaba.com that cost anywhere between $1 per unit to $3 per unit. Other people will tell you that you should source products between $6 to $10. Well, guess what? If you were to order 500 units, that is a lot of money. You do not need to spend $6 to $10 per unit when you are sourcing products from Alibaba. Most of my students find products around this price because this will lower your risk and it does not cost a lot for you to start your Amazon FBA business. So if we do some math, let's pretend that we go with my story and I ordered 500 units for 93 cents. Let's just round that up to $1. That means I am paying $500 for inventory. That is a very small amount of money that almost everybody can afford. Imagine purchasing inventory for anywhere between $500 to $1,500. Sourcing low-cost products is only possible if you follow my 3-step blueprint. If you guys need help with finding profitable products that can make over $10,000 consistently every month, then I encourage you to get my free Amazon training in the YouTube description below. Click on the free training link, enter your name, enter your email address, and watch my short webinar to the end so you can book a free one-on-one strategy session with my team, and we will walk you through exactly how my students are able to make over 6 figures every year by sourcing products that will not cost you a fortune. So it is up to you on how much money you want to spend on inventory. But again, if you are a beginner, I highly recommend you to start with anywhere between $1 to $3 per unit and order 500 units to start. 500 units is a good amount of inventory for your first batch of inventory so you can make some sales on Amazon. If you order less than 500 units, then you may run out of stock super quickly. You will be amazed at how fast you will run out of stock when you have a winning product. It is very common for newbies to not order enough inventory. If you don't have enough inventory, you will not make money once you run out of stock, obviously. So it is very important that you order anywhere between 500 to 1,000 units to start. So let's go with our 500 units example here. So inventory will cost you anywhere between $500 to $1,500. Now imagine you were to source a product for $10 per unit and you order 500 units. That's $5,000, which is not what you need to start your Amazon FBA business, and it is definitely not what you need if you want to start profiting on Amazon. So I personally like to follow this rule of thumb. I cannot stress it enough, you guys. Please start with sourcing products for a very low price, especially if you are a beginner, so you can lower your risk. Of course, if you have deep pockets and you make a lot of money at your job, then sure, go crazy. Try to source a product that's over $10 per unit. But I promise you, it does not mean that you will be more successful. It just means that you will be paying more to start your business, and it's totally not necessary to spend so much money on inventory to make profit. Now, I also want to mention that I will not be including expenses that will cost a few pennies because that's obviously not what we are focused on. I only want to focus on expenses that are required to start your FBA business. So if you were to create insert cards for your products, it may cost like 1 or 2 cents for each card, but I am not going to include that here because again, it's only a few pennies and that's not really worth our time. But now we want to discuss the box packaging. I was lucky enough to find a freelancer on Upwork.com who was able to design my box packaging for about 20 bucks. That's it. It cost me 20 bucks to have someone create a box packaging for me, and that was super cheap. Now for some freelancers, they may charge up to $50 to create your box packaging. It just depends on who you choose from Upwork.com, or if you are someone that finds freelancers on Fiverr.com, that is okay too. But you need to hire someone to create that box packaging so it looks nice and pretty for your customers. If you do not know what a box packaging is, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just imagine you are going to Costco to buy some toothpaste. Well, obviously the toothpaste comes in a fancy little box. So we need to create a box for our products as well. You also have the option to use an op bag. So if you have a product that makes sense in an op bag, which is kind of like a Ziploc bag, you guys know that when you buy products, sometimes it's wrapped in a plastic bag. You can also do that. But it depends on what you are selling, and most of the time, I think a box packaging looks more professional. If you were to use an op bag for every single unit that you purchase from your supplier, it is super cheap. I think I paid like 1 cent for every op bag. So again, I'm not going to mention that in here because it cost me like pennies to have an op bag. So what happens with your box design is that once your freelancer has completed the box design, all you do is email the file to your supplier on Alibaba. They will mass produce it, and then for every unit, they will put each unit in each box. So they package everything up for you, and that's it. Next, we need a UPC barcode. So obviously when you go out to buy products, there is a barcode for every type of product that you sell. It's no different on Amazon. At this time when I am filming this video, I believe it costs about 30 bucks for one UPC barcode. One UPC barcode needs to apply to one type of product. So for example, if I am selling a red beach ball, that is one UPC barcode. It is the same UPC barcode for all the units that I order. So it doesn't matter if I order 1,000 units or if I order 2 units, it is the same barcode because it's for that same product. However, if I decide to sell an orange beach ball, that is a separate UPC barcode because it is technically a different product because it's orange and not red. So I hope that makes sense. It only costs $30 for a UPC barcode, and there is an exemption on Amazon where you don't need a barcode, but I personally think if you are serious about starting your Amazon FBA business, then please get a barcode, get a box packaging so you look like a presentable brand. So what happens after we order inventory, we apply the box packaging, and our supplier applies the UPC barcode? Well, now we have to ship our inventory to the Amazon FBA warehouse. Once the warehouse accepts our inventory, it is live on Amazon and it's time to start making sales. Shipping and freight is something that you discuss with either your supplier or your freight forwarder. Now, I recommend everyone to have a personal freight forwarder so there is direct communication when you need to ask your freight forwarder a question. You might ask them, hey, where's my inventory? Did my inventory land in the Amazon FBA warehouse? Where is the tracking number? That is direct communication with a freight forwarder, and this is what I suggest you to use. Other sellers may use their supplier to ship and do the freight. Keep in mind that if you use your supplier to do the shipping, it's okay, but it's like a third party that is handling everything. They have a freight forwarder as well. So you may as well get your own freight forwarder and they will take care of everything from your supplier on Alibaba in China and get it shipped to the Amazon FBA warehouse in the United States with no issues. If you are a student of mine, then you should be using the same freight forwarder that I use. He is extremely responsive and I've never had any issues dealing with my freight forwarder. So how much does it cost for shipping? Well, this depends on the weight of your product. It depends on what type of product. It depends on the size of your product, and it can depend on many other factors. Now, I'm not a freight forwarder, so I can't give you an exact number on how much it will cost you because I don't even know what you're selling, right? But it does cost somewhere between $4 to $6 per kilogram. So to give you an example, earlier I told you that I only paid 93 cents per unit for my first winning product. After adding on shipping and freight, I believe I paid $1.10 for every unit. So you see how that works. There is the cost per unit from your supplier on Alibaba.com, and when you add on a bit of shipping for every unit, it costs just a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying that for you will pay an extra 15 to 20 cents per unit. That is only in my situation for my first product. Your product may be different. Maybe you will pay an extra 20 cents or 10 cents or 25 cents. Again, this all depends on the type of product you are selling, the weight, the size, and all these other factors. So what you need to do is ask your freight forwarder about your own product so they can give you a quote. But again, a good number for shipping and freight is anywhere between $4 to $6 per kilo. On top of that, we want to make sure that our inventory arrives in the FBA warehouse safe and sound. This is when we should be purchasing insurance. If you purchase insurance, this will protect your inventory. So let's pretend I purchased 500 units from my supplier and for some reason it all goes missing. My inventory is gone. It's at the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic. Something crazy happened. Well, guess what? If I purchased insurance, then I will get reimbursed for that inventory, or your supplier or freight forwarder will deduct the amount lost in your next batch of inventory. So please buy insurance if you can. It's only 25 to 50 bucks. Also, don't forget to book an inspection. If you are sourcing a product that is quite complicated, then I suggest you to get your products inspected to make sure that your inventory is okay. There have been times where people have come to me and they tell me, Tamara, I'm getting bad reviews on Amazon and I cannot figure out why. Then the seller realizes that it was their supplier that produced their product all wrong. So you don't want anything to go wrong. If you have an extra $100 laying around, then I recommend you to book an inspection before your inventory gets shipped to the FBA warehouse. Now, when your products have arrived at the FBA warehouse, your product is now up for sale on Amazon. There are FBA fees associated when you are doing fulfillment by Amazon, which obviously means that Amazon handles all the customer service, shipping, and handling, while you get to sit back and do other things. This is what every Amazon seller should be doing. They should be using FBA so they don't have to ship any products themselves and do all the legwork. Now, for every unit being sold, Amazon takes a commission. That commission can be anywhere between 10 to 15%. It just depends on which category you are selling in. So this is an expense that doesn't happen upfront. It only happens when your product gets sold. So for example, if someone buys my beach ball, Amazon will take 10 to 15%. You guys can Google Amazon FBA fees to see the exact amount of commission that Amazon takes for every unit sold. So I will write down FBA fees, but keep in mind, this is not what you pay upfront. You only pay it when someone buys your product. And there are some storage fees, but I'm not going to get into that topic because it's very insignificant when you find a good product to sell. All right, the next two expenses are kind of optional, so allow me to explain. Most Amazon sellers need to run some advertising in order for their product to launch. In fact, I needed to do this for my own products. And the amount of money that you need for advertising all depends on your product. There is no specific amount of money that is required. It just depends on the demand for your product. It depends on how competitive your product is. It depends if you have a saturated product. It depends on so many things. But usually for beginners, I think you should start with $10 to $25 per day to run advertising. Or if you are someone that is extremely skilled at product research, like my student Marie that I interviewed in this YouTube video right here, She makes over $23,000 in profit every month with zero advertising. And this is all because she followed my Amazon FBA training. Again, you can get my training in the YouTube description below. This is a free webinar to help you find the right product. So not every seller needs to spend money on advertising, but does it help? Yes. If you guys have a job or if you have financial support from somewhere, that is enough to run advertising on Amazon. We call this PPC, which stands for pay per click advertising. It helps you launch your product, and I'm not going to get into that topic today, but just be aware that this is a possible expense. So as long as you can afford anywhere between 10 to 25 bucks per day, you are okay to sell on Amazon. Again, there is no specific number that I can tell you. Every product is unique. And if someone were to tell you a specific dollar amount for advertising, I don't think they are being very truthful. And finally, once you start profiting for your product on Amazon, it is time to file for a trademark. It costs money to file a trademark. I filed my own trademark 6 years ago, but today I do not recommend you guys to file your own trademark because it's quite complicated and it costs anywhere between $500 to $1,500. I don't think it will cost you over $1,500, but the reason why the price fluctuates when it comes to filing a trademark is it depends on what type of trademark you want to file. It depends if there are additional classes. It can get quite complicated. And sometimes you may need to do an official trademark search, which have additional fees. So it can cost anywhere between $500 to $1,500. Now, you do not need to file a trademark today. Please don't do this. This is the biggest mistake that Amazon sellers make. Before they start selling their product on Amazon, they start filing for a trademark. And I'm always asking them, why are you filing a trademark for a product when you don't even know its success? So I started filing my trademark 1 year after I started profiting for my first winning product. And then I built a brand of products around that exact same trademark. So if you are just starting your Amazon FBA business, there is no reason to file a trademark just yet. You only file a trademark after your product has been proved to be successful, or else you are paying for a trademark. And what if you don't want to sell that product down the road? What if it's a bad product or something happens, right? So there is no need for this expense today. Just be sure to save some money to file for a trademark if you decide to do so later on. I should also include that you do not need to file an LLC or a corporation or start a separate business entity to start your Amazon FBA business. A lot of people make this mistake. You can start selling on Amazon right now under your own personal name. So I don't recommend you guys to register for a business until you start making some sales. All right, it's time to add up all the math to see how much money you need to start selling on Amazon FBA in 2024. I will also round up the numbers. So for example, if Helium 10 costs between $29 to $79 per month, I will use $79 so we can all make sure that we are covered to start our Amazon business. Okay, after adding up all these expenses, I came up with $1,959 to start your Amazon FBA business. Keep in mind, I rounded up. So for inventory, I used $1,500. And I used my example for how much I paid per unit after shipping for the shipping that is listed right here, between $4 to $6 per kilo. So after adding everything up, excluding a trademark and excluding advertising, I came to $1,959. So just a reminder, you should be saving money for a trademark down the road, and that is between $500 to $1,500. And for advertising, it all depends. It all depends on how popular your product is and many other factors, so I did not include that. But if you have a job and you have a source of income or financial support, you are okay to pay for advertising. So I hope this helped you guys understand how much it costs to sell on Amazon. And truthfully, if you don't have around $2,000, I don't think you should be starting this business. I think you should find ways to make that money first. You need at least around $2,000 to get started. And if you guys want to purchase any training or courses, that is another additional fee. I recommend you guys to all have a mentor, but courses and training all differ in price as well. It depends who you choose as your coach. One thing to keep in mind is that I would never recommend anyone to dive into this business blindfolded and just guessing your way through. That is not how you operate any business. This is to be treated like a real business. So please make sure you guys have at least $2,000 to start. The more savings you have, the easier it is, and the more you can afford to get help, training, or other programs to make sure that you are successful. All right, guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you found it to be helpful. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you in my next video.